going to go over to the other shop and check out a 1967 Corvette that we've been restoring for a couple of years now. And Craig has taken this project under his wing and has really made sure that the car is restored correctly up to NCRS standards, and he's rather proud of his project. Craig came to work here about 10 years ago. He's the office manager and basically the general manager of the restoration business. He does a phenomenal job. This thing's just about wrapped up, isn't it?
Almost. I got some detailing here, dust and whatnot.
This thing looks really good.
Thank you. The 1967 Corvette is convertible. It is one of the most desirable years. I think it's the prettiest. I love the way the car looks, the silhouette, and even the interior. Everything about that.
The car was actually in fairly good condition. It needed a paint job. It had been painted already once before. The engine had never been rebuilt. And it was just a good old tired driving car.
The car was literally down to the nuts and bolts. The motor was rebuilt by a machine shop properly, the transmission, everything was done properly. The owner spared no expense. He wanted the car perfect.
The NCRS set the standards to restoring these cars and wrote everything down as to how a Corvette should look in any particular year, back to factory specs.
They're looking for what is correct, what options came with the car. Are they back in place? You don't want to change the color of the interior.
Right.
You'll lose points. They want them restored proper.
Right. They want them correct, and that's the great thing about it. What about these stripes? What was that for?
Shims for the body. After the body's built and shipped to the assembly plant, they put it on a jig, and the jig tells them how much space they need to fill in between the body and the frame.
Gotcha.
The cars, as they went through the assembly plant, parts were labeled by color, so at a quick glance, an assembly technician could grab the correct brake caliper. So these markings all meant certain things. We've seen them where there was numbers. It depended on the guy, you know? So there's debate on what is correct, what isn't. You see both in there.
90% of Corvettes and other cars that we see, the owner is in charge of the restoration project. What happens is they get the outside, it's all looking great, and then the underside, they just throw together.
Yeah, we gotta make sure we get the correct screws and the trim. You don't wanna just throw the car together at the end after you've done all this work. So it gets very tedious. Put a bumper on, take it off. Put a bumper on, tweak the bracket a little, take it off. One bumper, you may spend the whole day until it's absolutely perfect. I have fun doing that, so.